Hi guys, today I'm going to do a quick rundown of After Effects for you. So when you first start up After Effects, you're going to see this window here. This is the welcome window, as you can see. I'm going to click on make a new composition. So this is the starting point of your project. So this is your composition name. This is what you're going to call this composition. So we're going to call this one test. There we go. And now here in the basic tab, which we're not going to get into advanced tab, maybe in another tutorial, but in the basic tab we can choose presets. So these are all the presets that it comes with. This is NTSC DV. This is just standard widescreen video. Here we have our HD video, and these are like film, 2K, 4K, really high resolution footage right there. But right now we're just going to work with NTSC. Actually, we're going to go with 24 frames. So right here we have the width and height. You can manually adjust those if you want. You can even lock the aspect ratio, but we're just going to leave that as that for now. Now this is the duration of the your composition. So we're just going to make it 10 seconds. So to do that, we're just going to type in 10 right there. And now our duration is 10 seconds on 24 frames per second. So then we're going to click on OK. So now this will open up a new composition, as you can see. So this right here, what I have selected, this is your timeline. This is where all your layers are going to be, and anything that you import to the timeline is going to be shown here. So I'm going to just pause the video for a second, grab some footage, and I'll meet you guys back there. Okay, so I got some footage here that I'm going to pull up. So here is the Finder. And right here, actually, I have some JAG35 test footage that I did just the other day. So we're going to import some of that and see what we can do with it. So I'm actually going to take this clip right here, untitled number 1. I should have named them, but whatever. So what we're going to do, we're just going to drag it into the project bin area right there. And it's going to import just like that. Now this here's a project bin where you can import your footage or any other like photos, videos, anything that you need for your project. You can even make folders. As you can see, I just made a folder. We're going to call this our footage folder. So now it's called footage. We're going to drag our untitled footage and just drag it right into the folder just like that. We click the little arrow beside it, it pulls it up. I'm going to make another folder, and we're going to call it comps. And then we're just going to put a composition in there just so we can hide it for now. So this is pretty self-explanatory, the project bin. Even like right here in the project bin, you can either delete the footage, you can search for footage up here, you can make a new composition, your folders. This is bits per channel, but we're not going to get into that now. So that's pretty much that. So we have our timeline here, and this is our scribber, as you can see, just like in any other basic video editing software. So we're going to drag our untitled 1 footage right into the timeline, and there it is. Actually, I just realized this is HD footage, so we might have to shrink that down. But here is your timeline. So your footage is going to be displayed here. Over here we have some options. Up here we have some more options, and this is pretty much the timeline where you can get to scrub for you. You can scrub through your footage and really see what you have going on here. This little green bar above your footage means if it's rendered or not. Now, if it's not rendered, it's going to appear like this, just grayed out. And that means that you can't play it back at real time. Like, example, if I press spacebar right now, I'm going to preview that footage in real time. Now, when it hits those gray areas, you see that it's not going to go real time anymore. And you can see that because up here, it's telling you that it's not real time. It has to render the footage before it can go into real time mode. So that's just a little bit about that. So now we're going to get into just a few basic things about After Effects and the timeline. So if we actually go up here to our effects controls, this is where all your effects are going to appear. So let's say so first we're going to click on our footage, and then we're going to go effect, and let's just add an effect here. We'll add let's see, a stylize. Actually, we'll add a color correction. We'll add a curves adjustment. So here it brings up the effect that we just selected, and this effect is relevant to this. So if we don't want to have if we just want to see the footage without any effects, we just click this little button there, and it will deactivate the effect for the time being. Click it again, and it will activate again. So that's pretty straightforward. If you want to delete an effect, all you have to do is hit this delete key, and the effect will go away. So that's just something quick on effects. So right now, what we're gonna do, I want to flip this footage for the time being because it is upside down, because when you film with 35mm adapters on cameras, consumer cameras, they come up upside down. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna select our footage. We're gonna click this little drop down here. We're gonna go transform, and then we're gonna go to the rotation. So see this, just a drop down menu, just rotation. We're gonna click on the rotation. We're gonna type in 180 and enter. Now the footage is flipped, but still, as you can see, I'm only seeing a slight piece of the footage. This box around your footage, now that is the actual size of your footage, and then what you're seeing isn't just the window that you're seeing. So we want to make the footage take up the whole canvas. So what we're going to do, we're going to click on our footage and hit S on it, and it brings up the scale. So we're just going to scale this down just by clicking and dragging on it until it matches up. And that looks pretty good. So now what we have just done are two pretty basic things. We've rotated our footage and we scaled it down. So yeah, that's some pretty straightforward stuff. So now what I'm going to show you is how to do some basic things on the timeline. So this here is our footage, and let's say we want to cut the beginning part of this footage off. Okay, so that's pretty easy. So all that we're going to do, we're just going to come to the edge here, select it. Like you can see, I have these little arrows. We're going to click when we see the arrows and then just drag. And you can drag it to wherever you want. So we're just going to drag it to where I put my scrubber there. And then the footage now starts there and there's nothing before that. Now let's say that we made, as you can see before, we made our timeline 10 seconds long. Let's say we want to make it shorter. Well, that's easy. We're just going to go up, click on this yellow thing here, the work area. We're just going to drag it to about here, let's say. So now this is the work area that we're going to be working on. And then if we right click and we go trim comp to work area, now our whole timeline will just be our work area, making it easier to work in. So now we're actually going to move up here to our effects presets. So here you can find or browse through any of the effects that come standard with After Effects, or any effects that you added, that you bought separately and added into the project folder. I mean the effects folder. So, and you can also search for effects. Let's say I'm looking for the glow effect. I'll just type in glow, and then we have our glow effect right there. And we can just drag the effect onto our footage or onto the clip in the timeline, and it will apply the effect, and it will automatically bring up the effects controls over here. So that's a little bit about that window. Here we have our preview window, which is controls for previewing. So if we press play, it will start to render out this clip in the timeline. And then we can just hit spacebar to stop it. And then if we come back with a scrubber to here, we can view it in real time. That's pretty nifty. These are some other buttons, but you can experiment with those as you like. Here we have our info, which is, it pretty much tells you what colors you're picking. So you see where the mouse is, and I'm changing the color, and it tells me the color numbers. It also down here, as I showed you before, tells us what frame rate the video is playing at. And there's another tab up here, the audio tab. This is where you can preview the audio that's going on. I don't think this clip has any audio, so that's not doing anything. But if you have any audio, it will come up as a reading right here, and you can adjust it as you like. So this is our workspace pull-down menu. This is pretty simple. It just allows you to change it. Like, let's say you want motion tracks, you just click there, and it will automatically set it to the motion track preset. Or you could just go to the all panels and everything will open. Or you could just go to the animation or the effects. Yeah, I modified effects and it stayed like that. So I'll just go back to what it was before, the standard. Up here, this is our viewing canvas window. So this shows us what we're working on essentially. So here we have what percentage of the footage to view right now. So we're looking at it 100%. We can tell it to fit, and we're looking at it at 131% of its actual size. Or we could look at it 1.5% of its actual size. I'm just gonna go make it fit up to 100. So this is actually what's going on. So if you render this out right now, this is what it's gonna look like pretty much. Right here we have our title safe. You have a little pull down here with other things, but the most important thing here is the title safe. So these are pretty much guidelines of where to have like the most important things in your shot in. If you have them outside of these, some TVs might cut this out, or some DVD players they might not show this area.